That summer day, the routine shattered. Emily walked into the kitchen, eyes downcast, a baby cradled in her arms. A baby with dark skin, sleeping peacefully, unaware of the storm about to erupt. Emily was only 16, but she already knew what it meant to live surrounded by luxury, yet feel an emptiness so vast, not even a mansion could fill it. Her parents were successful business people, always rushing from one meeting to the next, jet-setting across the globe, amassing more and more wealth, but never time for her. The house was grand but cold. The silences weighed heavier than the walls, and affection was a luxury they never bought her. Her father, seated at the breakfast bar with a steaming cup of tea, frowned at the sight of her. Whose baby is that?" he demanded, as if he'd seen a ghost. Emily swallowed hard. "Dad, I need to talk to you. I got pregnant. This is my son." The man slammed his cup down. Tea splashed across the table. "What did you say? And with a black man? What on earth were you thinking, Emily? Hide that child. Our neighbors, our business associates, they can't find out. We're putting it up for adoption." Emily lifted her gaze, fear and fury mixing in her eyes. "No, he's my son and I love him." "Love? What about our reputation?" Her father's voice boomed through the kitchen. "What will people say?" Just then, her mother walked in. She froze at the scene. "Oh God, tell me you didn't." Her father finished the sentence. "Yes, our daughter has ruined our lives." Her mother, colder than the marble countertop, delivered the verdict. "Either give that baby up or get out of this house." Emily clutched little William tighter to her chest. "I won't abandon him. They'll do anything for him." Her father didn't hesitate. "Then leave." The expulsion. The door slammed shut behind her with a hollow thud. Outside, rain poured in sheets. Emily wandered aimlessly, soaked, the baby wrapped in a thin blanket that barely shielded him. She found a bench in the park and sat, trying to cover him with her own body. She was cold, hungry, terrified, but she never let go. Then a woman in her 40s, clutching a worn umbrella and a cloth bag over her shoulder, approached. "Love, why are you out here in the rain with your baby?" she asked gently. "My parents, they threw me out," Emily replied, forcing her voice steady. "Are you hungry?" "No," she lied, as her stomach growled loudly. The woman smiled kindly. "Come with me. My place is small, but it's warm. Let's get you some dinner." A new home. That woman was Margaret. She lived in a modest flat with peeling wallpaper, but it was filled with a warmth Emily had never known in her mansion. Margaret was a seamstress, and that night, she served Emily a bowl of hot stew, which she devoured through tears. Over time, Margaret didn't just give her shelter and food, she gave her a trade. She taught her to sew, to mend, to save every penny. Together, with an old pedal machine, they made clothes to sell at the market. William grew up surrounded by fabric, thread, and genuine laughter. 18 years later, life had changed. Emily, now a confident woman, lived in a modest but happy flat with William, who was about to graduate from sixth form. One evening, there was a knock at the door. A man in a suit introduced himself as a solicitor. "Mrs. Emily, I regret to inform you your parents passed away last week. According to the will, you are the sole heir." Emily's throat tightened. William squeezed her hand. "What does that mean?" he asked. "It means the house, the business, and the entire estate now belong to you," the solicitor replied. Emily was silent for a moment before turning to her son. "William, there is something I have always wanted to tell you. You are not my biological child." The young man stared at her. "What?" Emily took a deep breath. "When I was your age, I was walking home one day when it started to rain. I cut through an alley and found a homeless woman in labor. I knelt to help her, and you were born in my arms. Before she died, she begged me, take care of my son. I couldn't leave you, so I pretended you were mine, hoping my parents would accept us, but they threw me out." Tears welled in William's eyes. "You mean you gave up your whole life to raise me, even though I was not yours by blood?" "Yes," Emily whispered, voice breaking. "Because the moment I held you, I knew God had chosen me to be your mother. In your eyes, I found my purpose. You are my light, William, my sunshine." The young man pulled her into a fierce hug. "Mum blood does not matter. You are and always will be my mum. A different return." Emily chose to go back to her childhood home not to flaunt the inheritance, but to bring Margaret to live with them. To her, the seamstress was her real mother, the woman who had taught her that family is not always the one you are born into, but the one that embraces you when you need it most. In time, Emily used part of the inheritance to open a sewing workshop and scholarships for single mothers. And she'd always repeat the same words, the ones that had defined her life. I was blessed to be chosen by God to be a mother. No matter the pain or the scars do it all over again to see my son happy.